are you still awake? If you are, let's chat for a bit.
Sarah, do you have any idea what time it is? It's already 1 a.m. I've got work tomorrow. I don't have time for you.
Just a quick chat, okay? It's been a while. You were still up, weren't you?
I was just about to hit the sack.
Got it. You were about to hit the hay alone, huh? Because I snagged your elite high-income husband. Whoops. You went from being the wife of a wealthy man to just a broke single woman. That's gotta sting more than just getting dumped, right? And on top of that, the one who took him was your own sister. Life can be quite the kicker, can't it?
Yeah, I was completely blindsided when Josh suddenly asked for a divorce. I had no clue that my husband was cheating on me with my own sister.
It's been 6 months since I snatched Josh away from you. And guess what? He's still head over heels for me. He claims he's happier than ever with me by his side. I suppose it's a good thing to be beautiful, isn't it? Even though we're sisters, poor Melody, he got the short end of the genetic stick. With that face, it's probably impossible for you to get remarried.
Did you text me just to mess with me?
Kind of. I couldn't sleep and thought it would be entertaining.
Would you mind not reaching out to me just to kill time? Unlike you, I'm busy every day. And besides, I couldn't care less about my ex-husband Josh or you. There's no point in messing with me.
Huh?
I'm sleepy, so I'm heading to bed. You should hit the hay too, you know. For the sake of your beauty.
Hey!
Well, good night.
Hold on.
What?
Aren't you dying to know why I can't sleep?
Not interested.
Josh and I are jetting off on an overseas trip tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
I'm buzzing with excitement. That's why I can't sleep. I can't even nod off at this hour.
Wishing you a safe trip.
Hey, aren't you jealous?
Not really.
Cut the act. Josh and I are taking an extended vacation. We're off to Europe for 3 weeks. Well, I doubt you'll ever get the chance to travel abroad. I'll bring you back some souvenirs, so keep your eyes peeled.
Thanks a million. Can I hit the hay now?
Hold on a sec.
What? Can't you boast some other time?
Boast? No. I have a question.
What?
Where do you live now?
Why do you ask?
Don't tell me you're in some rundown shared house.
Huh?
I think it was right after Josh and I got married. A friend of mine saw you coming and going from a shared house. Well, what can I say? You were a housewife all your life, and then your rich husband left you. You can't exactly afford your own place now, can you? How's it going? Have you gotten used to living in a shared house? What kind of people do you live with? If it were me, I wouldn't be able to live in the same room with a complete stranger.
I don't live in a share house.
Huh?
The room I'm in now is spacious and has a nice view from the window. It's very comfortable.
You're kidding. I'm sure it's spacious if it's a shared house, but living with other people 24 hours a day can't be comfortable.
I told you, I don't live in a shared house.
Then you live in a shabby apartment with very cheap rent?
I live in a penthouse with $10,000 rent.
$10,000 in rent? Ugh, stop kidding. Do you even understand the numbers?
I'm not kidding. But if you don't believe me, I don't care.
Ah, poor Melody. You're so bitter that I stole your husband away from you. So now you're resorting to lies and pretending to be tough. I live with his parents. In a stunning mansion with a beautiful, expensive garden. Josh earns a hefty sum, and his father continues to rake in money from real estate investments, even after retiring from his previous job. I can live a life of luxury and fame for the rest of my days.
Sarah, haven't you had any doubts in the 6 months since you married him?
What?
It's none of my business now. But I think you should start planning for the future, because your glamorous lifestyle won't last forever.
Huh? What are you saying? They make a lot of money. I can live comfortably without any worries. There's no need for me to work.
Even if you are wealthy now, you never know what might happen, right? Don't always rely on your husband or your parents-in-law's financial resources. I think you should learn to stand on your own feet.
I don't get it. You're just jealous of my celebrity lifestyle, aren't you? Do you think I would fall for such empty threats?
Well, it's none of my business anymore, so I don't really care. But I did offer you some advice.
Okay. You really don't give up, do you? Living in a shared house can be tough. But you're just too pathetic to bother me with meaningless threats. If you have time to envy me, why don't you find a new guy to marry? Well, unlike me, you're plain looking. You're probably going to stay single for the rest of your life. I'm really lucky to be born a beautiful woman. You may be smart, but ugly women are destined to lose to beautiful women. After all, a woman's face is her life.
It's true that you're beautiful, but you shouldn't let your guard down. Looks can only take you so far, especially as you get older.
You're just a sore loser.
Well, whatever. I don't care what happens to you.
Enough already.
Well, I'm off to bed now. Let's wrap up this messaging.
Hey, Melody. What's going on? Our house has been taken over.
Huh? What do you mean it's been taken over?
When we got back from vacation, there were strangers living in our place.
Oh, right. You just got back. From your trip around Europe, right? How was it? Did you have fun?
That's not the point. What's going on? Josh's parents weren't there. The name on the front door has changed. What happened while we were away?
I don't know. Maybe you were jet-lagged and went to the wrong house?
I wouldn't mistake my own house for anything. What's going on? Why are strangers living there?
I have no idea. Josh is with you, right? Just ask him.
Of course I asked him first. But he said he doesn't know anything either. He seems to know something, but he just acts awkward and won't tell me.
Why are you asking me then?
I remember that you mentioned something that sounded like a warning. You know something, don't you? How did our house get taken over? Where did his parents go?
I don't know anything about that. Don't ask me. You can contact them, right?
Uh-huh.
I heard a rumor that they moved away. But I don't know anything more than that. Why don't you just ask them?
That's a good idea. I'll call his mother anyway. Hey, Melody. I just talked to her. I don't really understand it. But she says some circumstances forced them to leave the old house. And they've moved to a new place in the next town over. She gave me the address, so Josh and I are headed there now.
Oh, I see.
They've already sold their old house. And another family lives there now.
Oh, really? I suppose it was sold quickly after it went on the market.
Oh, I'm excited. A new house. What's it like? I bet they moved into an even bigger mansion than the old one.
Sarah, you're so laid back.
Huh?
Never mind. I'm glad you reached out to them.
Yeah, I'm relieved. Can you imagine finding strangers living in your place after vacation? I was so shocked. Maybe they wanted to surprise me, so they didn't tell me. Well, I'm off to the new house now. See you soon. It's the worst. What kind of a place is this?
What's wrong?
I came to the address she gave me. It was a tiny apartment, and it was so old that I couldn't even guess its age. The walls were crumbling. The stairs looked like they were about to collapse. What's going on, really? Why do we have to move from a mansion to a crappy apartment?
It sounds like the situation is worse than I imagined.
Huh? Do you know anything about this?
Ask Josh and his parents. I'm just an outsider.
Don't say that. Tell me. It's so mysterious. They all seem so gloomy, it's difficult to approach them.
I can imagine, but I can't casually disclose such private matters. I'm practically a stranger after the divorce, you know.
What on earth? I can't believe it. Josh is actually unemployed. Hey, don't you think that's awful? He quit his job a month ago and kept it a secret.
I knew it.
You knew it?
He's been embezzling from the company for years, right?
Huh?
He was doing a good job of hiding it, but he finally got caught and fired.
Melody, is that true? Josh was embezzling?
I wasn't certain, but during our marriage, I had my suspicions. He was working for a big company and was well paid, but he kept buying new cars, luxury watches, all the time. I thought he's spending too much money. I questioned him to see if he was hiding anything, but he insisted he hadn't done anything wrong. In the midst of all this, you stole him away. And we ended up divorcing without being able to resolve it.
What the?
A friend of mine from college works for the same company as him, so I asked her about it. Apparently, he was padding his expenses and overcharging. It's been a rumor among his coworkers for a while.
No way. Josh was well paid. He doesn't need to do that.
Human greed knows no bounds, huh?
That's terrible. I thought I could snatch your high-status husband away from you.
Our financial differences have been bothering me for a while. It's a relief I got divorced. But still, how could you go on an overseas trip in that situation?
I had no idea that Josh had been fired from his job. and he planned to complete the move while we were on vacation. It really pisses me off. I can't believe he decided to move without discussing it with me.
Well, if you had found out about the plan, you would have made a scene to hold on to that mansion.
Of course I would. I can't stand living in such a shabby apartment with only one bathroom. My father-in-law says it's better than being homeless. But 4 adults sleeping together in one room? There is no privacy.
Huh? Wasn't he making money from his investments?
His investments failed too. His savings dried up. To cover up his hefty debt, he had no choice but to sell the old mansion.
I suspected as much.
What? Hey, are you suggesting that you knew his investments would fail?
Because he was blindly buying properties just as the salesman advised him to. I was concerned if he knew what he was doing. He used up all his savings and all the money he received from his retirement.
I can't believe it.
Well, it can't be helped. You should be grateful that you have a place to live, at least.
You're joking. This place is unfit for human habitation. It's old, cramped, leaky. It's probably worse than your shared house.
As I've said many times before, I'm not living in a shared house.
Huh? But a friend of mine saw you going into one.
I stayed there for a short while until I found a new place to live after the divorce. I moved out right away.
Where?
To a penthouse, like I mentioned earlier.
I thought you were joking.
The rooms are enormous, and it has a fantastic view from the top floor. It's a wonderful place to live.
Hold on. How can you afford to live in a penthouse if you're poor?
Because I'm working.
I know you are working now, but you were a housewife while you were married to Josh, right?
No, I wasn't.
I don't believe you. You stayed at home almost all day long.
I was home, but I was working.
What?
I did a variety of work from home jobs. In fact, I made more money than Josh.
Seriously?
Otherwise, how could I afford to live in a house that costs $10,000? You assumed I became poor after I divorced Josh. Well, you were wrong. Now I can spend the money I earn only for myself. I feel richer than before.
No way. So you were totally fine with me taking your husband away from you?
Yep. You took in a no-good husband who got fired for his misconduct. I'm definitely grateful to you.
Then I'll move into your place.
Huh?
I don't want to live in this run-down apartment. Your place is spacious, right? Living alone must be lonely. I'll come live with you.
Are you kidding? What about your husband and in-laws?
I'll cut ties with them. I married Josh because he was an elite. I agreed to live with his parents because they had a big house. But now Josh has no job. They lost their mansion and now live in a run-down apartment. There's no reason for me to stay with them any longer.
I'm stunned. I guess money talks.
I have no use for poor people.
Who are you to say so? You don't make a penny yourself.
Hey, tell me the address of the penthouse you live in. I'm packing my bags and heading over there right now.
I won't tell you.
Why not?
I don't want to live with a woman who steals others' husbands.
Don't say that. We're sisters.
I'm sorry, but I don't consider you my sister.
I apologize for taking your husband away from you. But You were always fed up with him, weren't you? Besides, I'm sure it's more fun to live with someone than living alone.
I'm already living with someone.
Huh?
So I'm not lonely at all.
Living with someone? Who? A friend of yours you met at the shared house?
My fiancé.
What? You're getting married again?
Yeah. I met him through work and we hit it off. He proposed to me the other day.
No way! I thought you'd be single forever.
I'm sorry to break your expectation.
So, what does he do?
He owns a company.
You mean you'll marry into a rich family? You're just in it for the money, aren't you?
Don't assume I'm like you. It's just that the guy I fell in love with happened to be the president of a company. I wasn't after his fortune.
It's not fair.
Huh?
I went from being a celebrity to living in a crappy apartment. You live in a penthouse that rents for $10,000? Are you kidding me? You're ugly and you're cocky.
It's fine if you call me ugly. Now you understand. Beauty isn't always the deciding factor in a relationship.
What am I going to do now?
Why don't you tough it out with Josh?
I can't. Josh is unemployed. I don't have a job either. If possible, I'd like to rely on my parents. But they disowned me for stealing your husband. Hey, Melody, how am I supposed to live now?
Don't ask me. Think for yourself. Besides, I gave you good advice. Well, goodbye.
Hold on, Melody. Please, don't abandon me.
Sarah attempted to sneak out in the middle of the night to return to her parents' house. But Josh caught her and forcefully brought her back to that run-down apartment. Despite wanting a divorce, they wouldn't allow it. The family of 4 is now struggling in poverty within a cramped space. Both Josh and his father have lost all motivation to work. Sarah now toils from morning till night to support her family. The toil of hard work has robbed her of her former beauty and appearance, making her hardly recognizable. Meanwhile, I married my fiancé, and we are enjoying our honeymoon in the penthouse. Observing their current miserable lifestyle, I am immensely grateful that I divorced my ex-husband early on.
Hey, sister-in-law! I'm engaged now. Please celebrate with me.
Oh, wow! Congratulations, Tessie!
Thank you. Can you tell my brother that I am engaged?
From me? You should tell him since it's something to celebrate.
He is pretty annoying, so I don't want to talk to him. He says mean things to me for everything I do. If I tell him that I'm engaged, he will probably give me another boring talk.
Like what?
Like, don't bother your fiancé. You will get married, so be mature and stuff. He is more annoying than my parents.
I think he's just worried about you because you're his sister. I don't think he's saying that to be mean.
Well, I don't care what he says to me anymore. I don't want him to ruin this happy moment. So can you tell him since you're his wife?
Okay, then I will. Is your fiancé the guy working at the investment bank?
What? That's so long ago. I broke up with him long ago.
Oh, was it that long ago?
Yeah, that's a very long time ago. And I went out with like 5 guys after I broke up with him.
That many? Wow.
I was trying to find the one. You know, you can never tell who is the right guy to get married to until you go out with them. That is why I always had a spare guy.
Spare?
like a marriage candidate.
Wait, you were not cheating on them, were you?
I've dated several guys at the same time, married before I turned 30. I wasn't married, so it's not illegal to date several guys.
So there's a strict screening process if you go out with them.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, income is important, and jobs with future potential are important too. Oh, and their parents' income is another important factor.
Wait, their parents have to be rich too?
If their parents are poor, then even if my husband is rich, it means nothing. Because their money will be spent on their parents. I don't want to send money to their parents.
Oh, so you got engaged to the guy who passed the strict screening?
Yes, he is a doctor. His parents are both doctors, and his father is the director of a hospital. Also, his grandpa earned a lot of money in real estate.
Oh, wow. That's a rich family.
He's good looking, too. He's the best.
But I bet there are more reasons why you chose him. Other than the money. What do you like about him?
Huh? The money is the only reason.
But you're marrying him because you love him, right?
Well, basically, yeah.
Basically.
I love him. He has everything. After his parents die, there will be lots of inheritance that I can use. I am so excited.
Don't say that.
Well, it's true. I can be rich. I tried so hard to make him fall in love with me.
Yeah, that's amazing. How did you make him fall in love with you?
He was the hardest one. Probably because he grew up in a doctor family. He's got strong morals. I did volunteer work to be appealing to him.
You did volunteer work?
I went to dog shelters and I took care of the dogs. The dogs were annoying. And it was such a hard time.
Well, maybe it's rude to say, but I didn't think you liked doing volunteer work and such.
Of course I don't. Working for no money is ridiculous. I quit that dog shelter volunteer halfway through.
Oh. You can actually quit halfway through?
I left the job to the others. Well, I participated in a volunteer, so it's okay. Participation is the most important part, not completing it.
I see.
It takes an effort to get married with good guys.
So, when is the wedding? You have the money, so I bet it is going to be a gorgeous wedding.
Yes, it is going to be a big wedding. The wedding is a year later, and it'll be held at the beautiful Ocean View Chapel.
A year later! How exciting!
I will prepare a lot for the wedding. I want it to be perfect wedding that anyone would admire. I have to tell everyone that I succeeded.
You're really going all out, aren't you?
Of course. It was my goal to marry a rich guy and have a gorgeous wedding ceremony. The after party is going to be a big party too. But would you come?
I'll pass. My daughter is still small and she'll be tired.
Yeah? It's okay. Just attend the wedding. Please look forward to it.
I'm sorry, Jessie. I can't make it to your wedding.
What? Why?
My daughter just got into an accident.
An accident?
A cyclist crashed into her during our morning walk. And we're now at the hospital.
Oh, just got hit by a bicycle. Not a big accident.
Actually, she hit her head pretty hard. She is still unconscious. We're having tests done right now, so we can't attend your wedding.
Wait. I prepared for this big day for a year, And you're going to cancel at this last minute?
I'm so sorry, Jesse. We were so excited to attend your wedding. But I can't go since my daughter is in critical condition.
Then just leave your daughter at the hospital and come. Just leave her.
I can't leave my daughter. Your brother is contacting your mother right now. It doesn't affect your wedding even if we aren't there, right?
No, it does. You guys have a role.
Role?
You will accompany me when I leave the venue during the wedding.
What? You never told me.
Of course I didn't tell you because it was a surprise. Don't ruin my plan.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize, just come.
I can't. I'm so worried about my daughter.
Why did she have to get in an accident today?
Yeah, not a good day. I feel bad for ruining the celebratory mood.
Ugh, this is why I hate little kids. If you're a mom, then always keep an eye on your daughter. If you can't take care of your children, then don't make babies.
Calm down, Jesse. Your plan might be a little different, but even if we're not there, your wedding will not be ruined, right?
I want everything to be perfect. I can't allow my schedule to get screwed up. You are ruining my wedding that I have prepared for a year.
Please, Jesse. Please understand. It's an emergency situation. I have to stay with her.
I don't care what happens to your daughter.
What?
I should be the first priority. Your stupid daughter just didn't look and ran into a cyclist, right? It's your daughter's fault. So leave her at the hospital.
No, the cyclist didn't look and hit her. She's the victim.
The biggest victim is me. Don't embarrass me.
You won't be embarrassed. If you explain, your husband and his parents will understand.
I don't want them to know that my stupid brother and his wife can't take care of their kids. It's all because of your kid. So terrible. You should have put her on the leash.
Stop it! I feel sorry, but I think that's too rude to say.
I'm telling you the truth. It is so rude to cancel attending the wedding of your sister-in-law.
Your brother is lost for words, too.
So what? You two are both rude.
Is your wedding that important? More important than human life?
At least more important than your stupid kid.
I can't believe it. Anyways, we cannot attend your wedding.
The rehearsal is going to be held in an hour. There's also the introduction of my relatives, so come now.
What are you saying? I said we're not coming.
It doesn't matter. It's your daughter's fault for getting into an accident.
Are you blaming my daughter again? I said my daughter is the victim.
The reason she's hurt is because she lacks attention. Leave her and come to our wedding. If she's unconscious, then you can just leave her. She will not notice. I won't allow your absence.
You're so cruel. Your husband is next to me and he is shocked.
My brother is your husband.
No, I mean your husband. My husband is here too, but your husband is here too.
What are you saying? No way. He was here just now until I entered the makeup room.
I called him to come now.
What? Are you kidding me?
It only takes 15 minutes to get to the hospital from the wedding venue.
What? The wedding is starting soon. What's he doing?
Your attitude is unbelievable. I wanted to show your attitude to your husband. You act differently in front of him, right?
No, that's not true.
What is not true? You said to me you wouldn't allow us to be absent even if our daughter is unconscious? And your wedding is more important than my daughter's life?
That is because I was so mad.
Your husband is so shocked. He has good morals, and he works to improve lives. So he will not let that go.
Did you set me up? Who thought about this? My brother or you?
This is not the time to worry about that. You should be worried about letting your husband down. He is definitely disgusted by your attitude.
Don't you know how hard I tried to marry him?
Yeah, you even did volunteer work that you disliked. Well, you quit and left the work to the others.
Don't tell him that!
Oh, and I told him about how you got close to him because of his money. You said you were looking forward to his parents passing away and being able to spend their inheritance.
I didn't say that. Don't lie.
I'm not lying. It's in the chat history.
Don't say anything more.
I always thought you were so annoying. Shh. Oh, your husband is going back there now. I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
Everything is ruined. It's all your fault.
Whatever you say, I don't care. I don't know what is happening there.
He canceled the wedding.
Oh, he changed his mind. After knowing your real side? No wonder why.
You set me up.
No, you set yourself up. And we tried to help your husband. If his wife is cruel, like you, then he would have such a hard time living.
Stop it! His parents stared at me too.
Oh, his parents finally know your real side too. But is it possible to cancel the wedding on the day?
No one has done it before. My parents suggested to have the wedding today, but he didn't allow it.
Yeah, of course he didn't.
He said if he gets married to a woman like me, it's a disgrace to the family. What does he mean by disgrace?
Disgrace is a disgrace. Your personality is not as he had imagined. And you don't seem to love him.
What are you saying? Anyone would at least try to be a nice lady when they fall in love. He cancels the wedding for such a little thing.
Yes, anyone would try to be a nice lady, but you're too much. His decision cannot be controlled by anybody, so give it up.
Don't say that. I had my whole life on this big wedding day. I can't quit this.
Then what about just having your wedding forcefully? Your husband is not into it, but go for it. I have never seen such a horrible wedding.
Stop it.
You don't know who is listening, so you shouldn't say whatever you want to say. If you want to be a nice lady, be a nice lady. Not only to your love, but to everyone. Jessie tried to convince her husband, but he paid the wedding cancellation fee. And under the condition that he apologized to the attendees, the wedding was canceled, as he wished. However, when he apologized to the attendees, he revealed the reasons why, and Jessie was humiliated. This was revealed after, but Jessie was in a lot of debt. Apparently, she spent all her money when she was looking for a husband-to-be. Clothing, cosmetic surgery, and so much she'd spent on. She probably thought she could pay it off when she marries a rich man. But now she has to pay it back on her own. And now she's been pushed to the brink of bankruptcy. My daughter, on the other hand, recovered and left the hospital a week later. There was no brain damage, just a concussion. I am so relieved for her quick recovery. After that, I haven't seen Jessie, and I haven't been contacting her. And I will never want to be involved with her again.